Hey everyone, before we jump into today's show, I have a few asks of you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share the content, and engage with us in the comments. Also, we have a brand new email for the tribe to connect with us. It's info@jimmotes.com. My new book and program, SuckCycle, is out now. It's available along with my first book, I Asked God to Kill Me, on Amazon. So please buy them. They're important, impactful, entertaining, and actionable. Follow my socials. I'm at Real Jim Motes on Instagram and X. I'm at Jim Motes on Facebook and Pinterest. Don't judge me. Pinterest is cool. This coming Saturday, November 30th, Allie and I will be doing a meet and greet and book signing event at Book Nook in Papillion. We're going to be there from 10 a.m. till noon. It's a showcase of local authors, so stop by and support all of us if you would. All right, let's move ahead. Today, Allie and I discuss the progress and plans for building the ministry as we look forward to 2025. We also want to offer encouragement and actionable advice that will not only help you finish this year on a high note, but propel you into the new year with more momentum than you've ever had. Please enjoy episode 59 of the Ministry of Freedom Show. Al, we're officially rolling. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for episode 59 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Goes pretty fast, right? So catch up time a little bit, some things we have going on. The new book, SuckCycle, was released a little bit early. So it was scheduled to come out yesterday on the 25th, and it came out last week. So we got a bit of a head start. The team worked super hard to get that out. We are very excited about that. Sales have been pretty great, humbling. I thank you so much for everybody that's participated and shared about it on their socials. And it's just been a fun week to see that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So that's been pretty cool. What else we have going on? Next Saturday, we have a meet and greet and a book signing
at the Book Nook.
The Book Nook.
Yeah.
Love the Book Nook. If you guys aren't familiar and you're in this area, there's 3 Book Nooks. One of them's in Papillion, kind of the old town Papillion, their main street down there. That's where the signing's going to be. It's very cool. We're going to be there from 10 till noon on this Saturday, the 30th. There's 2 other Book Nooks locally too. There's one in the Josla Castle and then in Ixarbin Village. So the Book Nook is really big on promoting local authors. We appreciate them very much. They do a lot of good community work as well. And it is small business time around here this time of year where people celebrate small businesses. Brick and mortar bookstores are going kind of by the wayside. So check out the Book Nook, support them. Barnes and Noble and those stores are great, but they're chains. This is a locally owned mom and pop type of store. It's very cool. It's very intimate. Please show them some love. Go down there and check out the books and come on Saturday when we're going to be down there trying to engage with you guys and connect in that way as well. It should be fun. What else we have going on now?
Church house.
So it's just about done. So we are a day or 2 away from the remodel being done. And a couple things that we've been kicking around, and I think where we're at is we're going to list it, and we're going to list it as it could be for sale or it could be for lease commercially.
A land contract.
Yeah, it could be land contract. We're also going to push for it to be, in all of those instances, we would love for it to be a daycare. The community has reached out to us and told us, hey, we really need a daycare. Allie and I aren't really interested in running a daycare, but we'd like to facilitate that. So if anybody locally in the Missouri Valley, Iowa area is interested in that, reach out to us. We'll see if we can make that happen for you, because I think that could be a win-win for us. Podcasts. I'm going to be a guest on a pretty cool show. I don't know if you guys have heard of this yet. You should check it out. It's called Fuel Your Legacy. The dude that hosts it's named Sam Knickerbocker. Good dude. You can check out all his social. Sam Knickerbocker is kind of how it sounds. Kinckerbocker. Fuel Your Legacy podcast. Really interesting content. I'm happy to be able to be on that. I don't have the airing date yet. We're recording it next week, but I'll keep you posted on the socials for all that kind of stuff. Birthday season. So it's our birthday season.
Yes.
Allie and I have birthdays that are pretty close. And so we're celebrating those around this time. And then Thanksgiving's coming up in a couple of days. And next thing you know, it's Christmas. And then we go into the new year and we have a honeymoon and a wedding to plan.
Yes.
Probably not in that order.
No.
Probably wedding first.
Seems a little backwards.
Seems kind of how it goes. So, wow, It's crazy how time just flies. Yeah, it's amazing to me. So I want to begin with reading called Spiritual Fitness from a daily devotional that I'm familiar with. It's called Our Daily Bread. And my friend Mike Schinker sent this one to me yesterday. So I thought I would read this to you guys. And it has our scripture reference in it later on. So we'll get that knocked out too. It reads, Trey is a regular at the fitness center and it shows. His shoulders are wide, his muscles pronounced, and his upper arms close to the size of my thighs. His physical condition prompted me to engage him in a spiritual conversation. I asked him if his commitment to physical fitness in some way mirrored a healthy relationship with God. Though we didn't go too deep, Trey did acknowledge God is his life. We talked long enough for him to show me a picture of the 400-pound, unfit, unhealthy version of himself. A change in his lifestyle had worked wonders physically. In 1 Timothy 4, 6 through 10, physical and spiritual training comes into focus. It reads, train yourself to be godly, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. One's external fitness doesn't change our status with God. Our spiritual fitness is a matter of the heart. It begins with the decision to believe in Jesus, through whom we receive forgiveness. From that point, training for godly living begins. This includes being nourished on the truths of the faith and of good teaching, and by God's strength, living a life that honors our Heavenly Father.
So before you get into the scripture, I just want to take a pause. This particular cat that has joined us, her name's Ozzy, and she Jim.
Correct.
So I just find it really funny that she's going to come in and join us, and not only join us, but sit at the table and lock eyes with him.
Yeah, as I'm reading.
Yeah, because she will bite him randomly, attack him.
Also true.
Yeah, hiss loudly.
Scratch.
Yeah, she hates him.
Yep, she does. So for those of you that are just on the audio version and heard Allie laughing as I was reading the scripture, she wasn't laughing at the scripture.
No.
She's laughing because Ozzy's face appeared right in front of my face, and I thought she was going to bite it off. So that's the visual for those of you who aren't watching. So yeah, I just thought it's good. I like this reading because it talks about different kinds of fitness. Physical fitness we talk a lot about, but also we have to understand that spiritual fitness is a pretty big deal too. And both are super important. So there's your scripture and the reference again, if you want to go back and check it out, 1 Timothy 4, verses 6 through 10. Check it out, Our Daily Bread, pretty good source. There that is. And there's Ozzy bumped in the camera. All right. What we're going to get into is as we finish out the year, we're looking ahead to 2025, and we want to start thinking about how do we win 2025? And this is a time of year, and it's been that way probably every year of your life where that's what you hear about. Next year is going to be different. I'm going to make big change and we're going to win and I'm going to do this. And here's my goals and here's my resolutions and here's all those things, right? And that's what everyone is talking about this time. A lot of people reach this point in the year and they look back at not hitting those lofty goals that they set back in January, the resolution people, I call them. They give up until the new year. I figured this morning, sitting there with the calculator out, we still have 11% of the year left. 10% of the year is a lot to waste. Point I'm making is how many people sit back and just waste this portion of the year? Thanksgiving till New Year's is just a time to do what?
Wait.
They don't do anything. They want to put off improvement. And not only are they not staying the same, they're drinking more,
worse.
Eating more, putting on weight.
But because it's just right around the corner, it just makes sense for people to wait. I'll start on January 1.
Yeah. And that was the point that I was trying to make that I was thinking of this morning is it's right around the corner, but it's 41 days. That's a long time. A lot can happen in 41 days.
Yeah.
And people take that for granted. If we were to waste 41 days in the middle of the year, that's noticeable. But since it's at the end of the year, it's just time to eat, drink, and be merry. And people forget how impactful and how important this time of year can be. And it can also propel you into 2025. What happens is we get in that rut. We drink too much, we eat too much, we don't exercise, we spend too much money, we rack up a ton of debt on credit cards to buy gifts and to do all those things. And that just sets us further behind as the calendar turns. So one of the things we want to do is we want to help people get off that treadmill and make significant, hopefully lasting change. So the message is don't fall off at the end of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's been going on with so many people in our lives and probably in yours. Don't fall off at the end of the year. So if you're new to the show, that's what we do here. It's the ministry of freedom. We want to help you. And we believe in freedom that comes from building a foundational faith in Christ and becoming strong, fit, and capable in all areas of life. On the show, especially when it's Allie and I hanging out, we are going to discuss our lives, keep you guys up to date on what we have going on. We're going to go over some current events and election stuff and politics and those types of things, hopefully have some laughs and all that stuff. The purpose, though, of all we do is to help you all optimize your lives to whatever extent you choose and are willing to. We want to be able to give you actionable steps and not just a bunch of catchphrases and hyperbole. Right, Al?
Yeah.
The next stuff that we're going to talk about comes right from the new book. My book that I mentioned earlier, my second book, it's called SuckCycle. It's a book and a program. It's kind of a workbook. You can buy one or several on Amazon. I'd appreciate it. $17.77.
Can they also get that at Book Nook?
If they can't, airing of this show, they can within a few days.
Yeah. Is it going to be sold in the Book Nook as well?
It is going to be sold in the Book Nook. So both books will be there. Here's the holdup on the SuckCycle. It takes a while to get them.
Yeah.
So they're on order. And this time of year, Amazon gets even slower. So you guys might think, hey, this guy wrote a book, so he probably just has all these delivered to his house and they just get dropped off there for free. Nope.
Yeah, we have to pay for them too.
We have to buy them. We have to go through Amazon and they're publishing. And so that's a little bit of a backlog. But as soon as we get those in our hands, they're getting taken over to the Book Nook and they're going to be for sale there as well.
Yep.
In the meantime, they are on Amazon, $17.77. There's a reason for that pricing. Go back to last week's show with Mike Freeman. We break down the program in pretty good detail. Mike talks about his testimony and how impactful the program's been for him. And it's an important episode. And it's an important book.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of the better investments you'll make and you'll get a pretty darn good return. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, Allie, entertain the audience for a second because I got you something.
A few moments later.
Notice the fancy wrapping, everyone.
It's from Amazon. I know what it is.
You do?
Yeah.
Let's open it up. Rip it. Here we go. Speaking of.
Yeah, you ordered I Asked God to Kill Me.
I didn't mean to do that. No.
I'm very excited about this.
Look what Allie got. She got the wrong book.
Not my disappointment recorded on camera.
So, right, here was the big plan. Since I told you I can't get books, the only way I could get one quickly is to order one.
Yeah, and from Amazon.
Yeah, so I have to go on Amazon and order it. And apparently I clicked on the wrong button. And they sent me that one.
That's okay.
So I don't think I clicked on the wrong button. So I hope everybody that's getting their books isn't getting that book. Let's hope that everything goes right. You're kind of out of the shot.
That's okay.
We'll get you back in. So Allie's out of the shot. I ordered her the wrong book. We're just not off to a great start.
Yeah, but Jim's convinced that Amazon did it wrong.
No, for sure. So now I'm nervous. Then I hope people get the right book if they ordered the new one.
I'm sure they did.
So, okay.
Look, because I'm going to click on it, add to cart, and I just ordered it.
Okay. Well, I did the same thing. I don't know how this happened.
Should I?
No, not right now. We'll look into it. All right. So what's the first thing that people can do? So if they're like, okay, this all sounds good. You guys are talking about what can I do to have a better finish to the year and start 2025 on a high note? What's the first thing you would tell people?
I guess for me, what I did is I downloaded that MyFitnessPal, and that's been.
Love that. So let's talk about that. My first thing is make the next food choice a good one.
But how do you know it's a good one if someone doesn't know what they're doing?
Well, that's a good point. I think most people know enough what they're doing, though. They understand that McDonald's isn't as good as eating a chicken breast and broccoli. Maybe they don't know that. I hope people know that.
But people also think that eating Chick-fil-A is super healthy.
Do they? Come on now. I don't know. Maybe. Let's talk about the app because you're right. That's a game changer. Allie uses the app MyFitnessPal. And you guys can, if you listen to last week's show, Mike Freeman's on this app too, and it's changed everything because it's helped him make some good food choices too. So what I've seen with Allie in this app is everything that you eat and drink goes on this app.
Yeah. I was putting 4 tablespoons of creamer in my coffee, and I didn't know that I was putting too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting a lot of those extra calories or a lot of that monosaturated fat.
Yeah.
So I didn't know any of that. And I think that that helps break down a lot of what you're eating. So it makes sense for you, because on that MyFitnessPal, it explains how much, fruit and veggies, because a lot of people think that they shouldn't have fruit because it's so much sugar, but eating fruit's actually a pretty good thing for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would do, and have people get educated on what they're doing, so you learn, because some people don't. I can go to McDonald's and I can get 6 nuggets instead of 10, and that's fine. And then I'll just skip my next meal. And so I don't think people understand. The normal public doesn't.
Yeah, that's hard for me to grasp because I've been on this path for a while. And I think that even back in the day when I was running through the drive-through at Taco Bell, I think I realized that it wasn't good for me. But I do remember having the thought of, hey, if I get the bean burrito instead of the enchilada or whatever, it's a better food choice for me.
1,000%.
I think you're right. I forgot, because I'm distanced from it, that most people, maybe not most, but there are people out there that don't have a great grasp of what that looks like. So they do need a source.
Yeah, I think that would be.
So number 1, download the app. So there's a free version of it.
Yeah. So there's a free or a premium. And to be honest, there's not a lot of a difference between the premium or the free. With the premium, you get a lot of advice on what the food that you're eating goes into your body and what it does for each part of your body. Or you can scan your meal or scan the barcode, I think is what the premium does. But you're still, with both versions, you can log your food and stuff, which I think is really cool. And it's been a lot of fun for me, and it's held me accountable. And so I've enjoyed it.
So the pay version is like $80 a year or something.
Yeah, it's nothing. You spend more. The average person spends more on that in alcohol or whatever, fast food, in a week.
Here's the cool thing. Allie, she upgraded to that pay version, and then she showed me that she can take a picture with her phone of what's on her plate, and the app knows what she's eating.
Yeah.
That's
down to like the garlic in my dish.
I mean, that's freaking crazy. I love that. All right. So step 1, if people are like, look, just give me something to do, then is download this free app. It's called MyFitnessPal. Start utilizing it, and then make the next food choice healthy.
Yeah. So then I think after that, it'd be 10,000 steps and water. And then once they've got those basics down, to then start putting training into their.
Yep. So, okay, let's go through it one thing at a time. So what I had kind of a mental list of things. So it started with the nutrition, right? And we got to make sure people aren't beating themselves up. I ate like crap for breakfast, so I may as well just eat like garbage until tomorrow. No, just start with the next food choice, the next meal. Make a good decision. So the nutrition's first. I think that a practical thing that people can do is start getting up earlier. And this is where people struggle. And I'm going to get into the water and the movement and that kind of stuff too. But for me, one of the things that really helped keep me on a different path is getting out of bed earlier, and thus creating a little more productive time in my day. Yeah, I'm going to bed a little bit earlier, but those seem to be less productive hours for me. So I'm trading less productive hours at the end of the day for way productive hours at the beginning of the day.
I agree with that, because I think that the later you're up in the evening anyways, what are you going to be doing at that time anyways?
Yeah.
Eating, fueling your body with crap. Yeah. Where are you going to be at night? Nothing good happens. They say after 12, but I think nothing good happens after 10 o'clock.
Yeah. And especially even if you're just at home watching TV, there's nothing wrong with that. I like to zone out on TV too, but I would trade 2 hours. I would trade from 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. of watching Netflix to get up at 5 instead of 7 and do something with that productive 2 hours from 5 to 7 a.m.
I concur. Arlie has cheer on Wednesdays, so we don't get home until about 9:30. And I made the mistake. Jim's got me on this. There's only murder. How to get away with murder.
How to get away with murder.
And I'm obsessed. We've discovered that the only TV that I like is fast moving TV. So I can't watch the stupid 5-minute I love you monologue between two people. It bores me. I can't stand it. Vomit. But if you're cutting someone's throat and there's action everywhere, I like that.
Right.
Was what we discovered. But I was up until 11 o'clock last night watching that show. So I didn't fall asleep until about 11:30 because I turned the TV off at 11. I'm up again at 6:30 this morning. I was downstairs in the basement and the gym for about an hour and a half. I'm so tired.
Wiped.
Yeah, because I didn't go to bed at a reasonable time, and I've eliminated sugar from my diet. And I'm typically a 2-cup of coffee gal. I'm at 1 cup of coffee, and so my scale has very much teetered.
So let's talk about Allie and TV. So follow my social, by the way. So I'm on Instagram a lot, Facebook a little bit, and X is kind of our new thing.
Mhm.
There's a hashtag that we created called Allie Quotes.
Oh, no.
And yesterday, so I'm a Cobra Kai fan, and it's the final season. It's the second part of the final season. They dropped like 5 final episodes. So I'm sitting and watching my Cobra Kai. Allie comes over and sits next to me, and she says, "Cobra Kai, is this karate?" I said, paused it. I said, "Yes, it's karate." Then she goes to the kitchen and she hears the word Miyagi. She goes, "Like Mr. Miyagi?" I said, "Yeah, it's tied in. It's Karate Kid.
I've never really.
He's just 70 now."
He was 70 in the show.
No, that was Miyagi. The kid is 70.
So they're both Mr. Miyagi?
Miyagi's dead, has been forever.
So did he take over Mr. Miyagi's name?
The second thing is then let's get out of bed earlier. I just have to move on from that.
I don't understand.
Miyagi's dead. Daniel's son took over. He started a dojo called Miyagi-Do. And now they're teaching kids Miyagi's brand of karate, and then wackiness ensues.
Do they wash the car still?
They don't do any of that, no. That seemed, inappropriate child labor. So they got rid of that.
They taught him them discipline.
It did.
Wax on, wax off.
It's true. All right, so the morning, I'm going to talk about the morning. So let's say you get 2 hours. What do I do with that 2 hours? I like having 2 hours when most people aren't out of bed. Here's what I do with my 2 hours. Devotional time, and that can look different for different people. If you're a non-Christian person, whatever religion you are, read something that's going to speak to your soul. If you're an atheist person, read a self-help book. I don't know, but read something and have some quiet time. I wrote a 49-day devotional that's part of the SuckCycle book. It's pretty solid. It's plain and simple for people to understand because I'm kind of plain and simple and need things in that format for me to absorb them. I think you'll appreciate how it is laid out. There's a probably 5-minute total devotional time for every morning. And I laid that out in the book. So if nothing else, buy the SuckCycle book for the devotional and see if you get any real life out of it.
Because I think that's hard for people to do when they're trying to discover their faith. How do I pray?
What do I do?
Say?
Yeah.
I feel weird talking to him.
Yeah. So I wanted to knock that barrier down because there's a lot of people are like, I kind of would like to pray and I'd like to know Jesus more, but where do I get started? I don't want to walk into a big church and they got their hands up and they're screaming. And this is something that people can do in the privacy of their home, get to know the Lord a little bit, read these devotionals, have their quiet time, and I think it'll help.
And then something that you and I discussed yesterday was with those devotionals, there's journaling pages with it.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be really cool for people to do that and then look back on how they felt in those moments and a year from now and see if that particular scripture still hits them the same way.
Good word.
A year from now. Because that's something that I'm really excited to do with that is to do that devotional time, journal my thoughts, and then in 6 months or a year, reread all that stuff and then reread what I wrote because I guarantee you that it won't touch me the same way.
Yeah. And that's the evolution. It's cool. That's what's great about journaling.
Yeah. I'm really excited for that.
That's really cool. So part of that 2 hours is some devotional time and the quiet time. And then this is when I encourage folks get some kind of movement in. Allie talks about 10,000 steps throughout the day. I think that's a great benchmark. It's a life changer. But that's more throughout the day. In the morning, though, I just encourage people to move. And that might be, to start out, it might be stretching. It might be some sit-ups. It might be some push-ups if you're able to do that. Lifting weights, going to a gym, walking on the treadmill, whatever level you're at and whatever kind of capability and equipment you have will dictate some of that. But get moving in the morning. And I like to do all of this before we enter the battlefield of your day.
Yeah, so your armor's ready.
That's right. You're armored up. You're ready to go. Your energy's high. You've been up for a few hours before you get on the road. You're not just out of bed, sucking down a cigarette, grabbing a cup of coffee at Casey's, and you're on the interstate.
Well, and something that I like about getting up and doing that in the morning too is if you do it at night, I feel like the stuff that you put down in the gym is done half-assed.
Yep.
Because you're like, I don't want to do this. I'd rather be, upstairs, or I got to get to bed. And
Yeah.
so in the morning, you have your whole day ahead of you, so you can really go at it. You can extend it an extra 20 minutes, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
But at night, when I was doing that, I never put in as much energy.
That's interesting. I think that I love that you said that, because to me, one of the reasons I do it in the morning is I believe in first fruits is what the Bible calls it. Tithing is part of that. It's the first part of your income. The first fruits of anything is the most important and kind of the sweetest and the most impactful. So I believe in giving God the very first fruits of my day from a time perspective. Then the next person that gets the next fruit is me. So God and me get the best part of my day.
I like that. Yeah.
That first fruits. And then once I've committed the first fruit to God and myself, the rest that I have for everybody else, it's not necessarily the first fruits, but it's better fruit because I've spent that time in.
Yep.
Right. Does that make sense?
1,000%. That's a good word.
That's helped me a ton. And I know that will help the audience. Guys, if you'll implement some of these things, we're going to throw a lot at you. Pick a couple of them and just get started.
Yeah. Try one.
Yeah. Just something.
Really, yeah.
Yep. Do something more than nothing.
Something different than you did today.
That's right. Third, I think it's important to talk about alcohol.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I've been sober for over 21 years. Alcohol is not part of my life, but I'm also not one of those, you should never have alcohol. That's for me, my life's better without it. But I don't judge those who like to partake.
No.
But what I would encourage you all to do is let's increase our awareness. How much alcohol are you really consuming, especially during this season? Because it can get out of hand fairly quick.
Family, football, sadness around the holidays.
For sure.
People use
There's
it
a ton of depression.
Cope. Yeah.
I think that we need to, at least any life change starts with an awareness of what could be holding us back. So be aware of how much you're drinking and consider limiting it a little bit. What's that mean? Just going sober for the holidays? Well, that'd be cool. You can. Or maybe it's, well, I'm going to meet some friends at the bar the night before Thanksgiving. Maybe it's alternating a bottle of water with drinks.
Yeah. And something I would encourage you to do, because, it's here in the Omaha area, it's just Jim and I. We don't have a bunch of family. So we spend these holidays just together, him and I. And I love it and it's wonderful, but it can be a little lonesome and sad. And if you are like that too, and you just spend these holidays alone, I would encourage you to sit in the loneliness and feel those feelings and not drink those away. Because at the end of that, when you wake up the next morning, you're going to feel stronger and you're going to enjoy that you sat in those feelings instead of drank them away. And now not only are you hungover, but you don't really know what it feels like to feel those feelings because you've just masked them.
Wow. That's strong. Having the courage to sit in the feelings that was the biggest challenge for me when I wanted to start being sober, because I had realized at 31 years old that I hadn't really felt anything since I was 15 years old.
Right.
So that's a long hunk of life to realize I don't really know how to cope with emotions. I don't really know how to feel. And it was a struggle and probably has me a little bit behind the curve emotionally.
You don't say.
So, I turned 53 yesterday.
70, but you're emotionally 15.
So I turned 53 yesterday, and I may be a little bit behind emotionally. So
15.
I'm going to work on that. But the only way you work on it, in all seriousness, is to face and sit in the feelings,
Yeah.
and work through those things. And I love being sober.
I think that's something that I try to do. I think that I'm pretty good at that.
You're really good at it, and you're teaching me to do it even at this stage when I haven't not sat in the stuff. I feel all the stuff.
Yeah, you do. You're very present.
Very present, and I feel all the stuff. But yeah, you motivate me and encourage me to keep doing that. So that's pretty cool of you. So you mentioned drinking water. We're water fans, right? We try to get our gallon in.
I heard something the other day that certain families are what's called a beverage house. Did you know about that?
I've never heard this. Go.
Okay, so a beverage house basically are people that have multiple beverages in their house. And so you can open up their fridge that's in the garage, and they'll have like LaCroix or Olipop or bubbly, stuff like that, and like juices.
Okay.
And I was like, people do that? Like we just have water and like the occasional apple juice or whatever drink Arlie's on.
Something for Arlie, and then coffee and water.
And the Olipop. I mean, I'm really on the Olipop, but
yeah. Beverage houses.
But people have beverage houses.
We're not those people.
No, I was like, we drink water. I have one Olipop a day and water.
In the comments, are you a beverage house?
Yeah. Or do you like flavored water? So I do liquid IV in my water consistently, and Jim does those.
Element. LMNT. Check them out.
Yeah.
Life changer. Element.
So how do you do that? And are you a beverage house?
Yeah, I'd like to know that stuff. That's pretty cool. So yeah, water. So that's important. Drink. My advice would be twofold. Drink more water. Drink less everything else.
Drink less beverages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Drink more water. Drink less everything else. Other than, I mean, I'm a coffee person. I drink probably too much coffee. But I can tell you, if you can drink water and coffee, you're going to be okay.
I think so.
And it's just like you mentioned fruit and sugar earlier. I've never seen anyone obese that's like, how'd you get this way? Well, apples. I mean, it just doesn't exist, right?
I had 3 cups of coffee today. Like they don't.
Yeah. Why are you so fat? Well, it's the apples and the coffee. No, it's not, man. It's the sugar extra large frappa freaking whatever from Starbucks with sprinkles and cream. And I mean, that could be 800 calories, but coffee, I'm talking about coffee. Right? Coffee.
Why are you getting so angry?
The other day, so this is why I'm angry. I haven't shared this with you. I took Arlie shopping.
Did you take her through Starbucks?
So she could get Allie's birthday presents. She wanted to get her some stuff. So I kind of like to get brownie points when it's just she and I. So
because he's mean to her.
I'm not mean to her. I have standards that I'm trying to help her to understand.
He's a dictator in this house. Sometimes I have to side eye him and be like, you need to cool your jets, bro.
So I said, hey, it's just you and me. Want some Starbucks? She's like, yeah. I said, okay. So I said, what do you want? And she says, like she sees the sign and she says, oh, the peppermint. She says, what's that? I says, that's a peppermint mocha.
Did you get that?
I said, is that what you'd like to have? She goes, is it coffee? I go, it's coffee.
She's 9 and doesn't like peppermint. What are you doing?
She says, yeah, that's what I want. I said, okay. So we get up there. I said,
did you get it iced?
Nope. So
she hated it.
She wanted it hot. So I got it made with like oat milk. So it smells great. I give it to her. She's like, and it's, $7 or some obscene amount of money. She takes 2 sips of it. Then she's just holding it.
Because she doesn't want to tell you she doesn't like it because he's mean sometimes.
And I'm like, this isn't even going near her face anymore. So she says, Jim, my hand's getting hot. I said, okay. I said, set it down. So she sets it down. I said, you don't like it, do you? She goes, I don't like peppermint, Jim. I said, you just told me you wanted the peppermint drink. She goes, I also don't like coffee. I said, so you don't like coffee or peppermint?
She's 9.
So.
Did you drink it?
No, because she's been sick. I'm not doing that. Threw it away. I made her throw it away. I said, walk up to a trash can and throw your drink away then. $7 later. So anyway, drink more water, drink less everything else. So now I'll give you one last thing. So actionable step. How we finish the day matters, right?
Mhm.
So if we can discipline ourselves, and I'm going to keep plugging this program, the SuckCycle book and program, because one of the most life-giving things, and I've gotten this from feedback from other people that have done this, is they finish their day with a little bit of gratitude journaling. Just, God, thank you that today, I'm grateful for this. Or just something short, something small, short, reflective gratitude prayer, puts that closing parentheses on their day. The light goes off, they put their head on their pillow, and I'm hearing amazing testimonies of I'm sleeping better. It's easier to get up earlier because I've finished my day the right way. My morning's better because my night's better. All that stuff is connected. It seems like such a small thing, but think of how many people don't do it.
Right.
And what we are trying to do, we're talking about trying to win 2025. And that doesn't start on January 1st. It starts today.
Mhm.
So winning next year starts right now, just like winning the day starts the evening before. And if we can do little things that the other people in our lives, in our businesses, in our jobs, if we can do things they aren't doing, that gives us a competitive edge.
Right.
And it's not about the huge things. The winning happens in the details, in what would appear to be the minutia of things. Taking those little steps that other people aren't taking. These aren't huge leaps. These are just little steps. And as we pile those little things on, those little victories, it makes a huge difference. I think everyone is going to be super surprised that we've laid down 4, 5, 6 things that folks can do. So tomorrow, start all 6 of them and do them. That's probably not going to happen. I want you guys to think about what we've discussed, re-listen to it, take a couple of notes, and ask yourself, what's the one thing that I can discipline myself to implement between right now, today, and the end of the year that's going to help me win 2025? I'd love to know through the feedback what that is. You can reach us on Instagram, X, Facebook, notes, comments in the YouTube. All of those things are important. We want to know what's working for you. We want to know what you want to hear more of. What areas are you struggling in that we can help you in? We have more expertise than we let on. We've actually been able to accomplish quite a bit in life, and we've had some setbacks, and we've also had some huge victories. Let us use our experiences, good and bad, to help you. That's why we do this.
Right.
You have anything else you'd like to finish up with, Al? Since we've already got you the wrong book for your birthday.
No, it's okay. We can get something else.
No, that's what you get. It's your present. You're welcome. But yeah. So anyway, that's where we're at. Guys, share this show with somebody. There's somebody in your life that's like, you know what? Bob at work might need to hear this. Go to the 3 dots and hit share and send it to him in a text. Ask him to listen to it. And keep an eye on the socials, because that'll let you know where we're going to be, what we've got going on. This is a pretty exciting time for us. We'd like you to come along. And ultimately, the only way that you guys are going to become part of the tribe and stay with us and follow us is if you're getting value from what we're doing. We want you to get value from it. We want you to get better because you're spending time with us. I need to know that the results of what you're doing are the things that Allie and I are teaching you, are those things helping you get better? If they're not, we're wasting our time and yours. And eventually you're going to bail.
Yeah.
We don't want you bailing. We want you sticking with us, bringing other people along for the journey, because that's how we're going to level up. Anything else?
No. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We're building a podcast studio in our basement.
Oh, shoot. How did I forget this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple things. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
So we'll finish with this. Another couple things we got cool. A website's being built.
Yeah. So I've been working with our IT team. That was hard to get out.
It is.
And I'm hoping that I'll get that launched within the next couple of weeks or so. We're getting some videos uploaded of Jim speaking and doing all that fun stuff. Working on designing our merch. So you guys can buy some stuff and support what we're doing. But we've got a lot of stuff that's getting ready to be launched. So like Jim said, just follow.
Yeah. The website's going to be jimmotes.com. It's not live quite yet, but we're getting close. As Allie said, the new email is, and I'm sure I'm going to go over this in the intro as well, it's info@jimmotes.com. The old social emails we don't use anymore, the social at Ministry of Freedom, those things. We wanted to simplify it. We're trying to get everything under one umbrella. And we're excited about that. And yeah, we have a team coming to our home Tuesday. No, that would be today is what that would be called, since the show's coming out then. So in theory, they're downstairs right now as you're watching this.
And I promised everyone mimosas.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have a bunch of drunked up podcast people, speaking of watching how much you're drinking, downstairs building us a podcast studio. So maybe the next time you see us will be from that new studio, but if not, it's going to be coming really, really soon. So stay tuned. We're trying to get better. We're making an investment in our ministry, an investment in our futures. And that's what it takes to grow and have the maximum impact. So we're not comfortable ever where we're at. We're charging into 2025 and believing ahead that it's going to be the most impactful year. Yeah, we're full steam, right?
And I also, but I don't want to tell them why, I think that we'll be making a trip out to somewhere in San Francisco.
Seattle?
Yeah.
I'll tell them why.
No, don't let them. No, they have to stay tuned.